Welcome back. In this episode, we'll take a look into internet browsers. Once you have an internet connection, you're ready to surf the web. So what does that mean, and what is the internet exactly? It's a connection of hundreds of thousands of miles of cables crisscrossing countries and laid under the sea in submarine cables. It is Wi-Fi towers and fiber optics and satellites that allow information to travel from computer to computer all over the world. It allows governments, companies, universities, organizations, and individuals to share information and communicate with each other. You can share information in the form of text, music, photos, or videos. To be clear about some often mixed up terms, the physical network of computers is most commonly referred to as the Internet. Many of those interconnected computers hold information that is open for anyone to access. This information system was dubbed the World Wide Web because it's like a spider's web. This is what the phrase surfing the web is referring to. In reality, there are billions of information sites called websites, and these are organized and sorted and served to you using a website browser. Your computer comes with Microsoft Edge as its default browser. You'll see the icon on your desktop. To open it, double-click on the icon. This will open a new window. We'll take a minute and look around on this page. There's a lot going on. On the right-hand side, the weather appears for your region. You'll notice there are many news sites with stories for you to click on if you're interested. I'm going to click on this one, and it'll take me to a new window for me to read the story. When I'm done, I click the X on the tab at the top, and it will return me to the browser. These news stories will be constantly changing, so what you see today won't be there tomorrow, just like a daily newspaper. Do you notice the word personalize and the pencil? This means we can edit or change what you see on this page in the newsfeed. Let's take a look at what we can choose from. We'll double-click on the word and then look at all the choices. If you want certain news stories to appear on the home page each time, you choose what you want and don't want to see. So if you're a real sports fan, you would for sure choose sports. If you don't care about US politics, you wouldn't choose it. Once you've made your personal selections to My Feed, return to the search page. There are two more terms we need to get straight because they can be very confusing. We need to understand that there's a difference between a website browser and a search engine. It's even more confusing because the most common of both are currently made by the company Google. Google Chrome is a web browser. It does basically all the same things that Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and others do. They go to websites and show the user the information that's available at that site. Because the internet is so massive and there are so many websites in the world, special computers were made that do nothing but look for information and point you to it. Again, currently the most popular search engine is Google Search, but there are others like Bing by Microsoft, Yahoo Search, and others. They also all function basically the same way, and it's your choice which one to use. Web browsers and search engines are free, and they work independent of each other. This is unlikely to get less confusing, so let's try some examples and it will become clear with experience. We will use the browser Microsoft Edge because it's built in and ready for us. But feel free to download and install other browsers to suit your needs. What do you do to search for something very specific? At the very top of the window is a white space called the address bar. At the top of the page, right in the center, is also a white space called the search bar. You can type in a few keywords in either to find results for your search. Let's say you're searching for information about vitamin B12. You don't eat a lot of red meat and you've heard that you should maybe take this supplement and you want to do some research on it. So, in the search bar, you simply type in vitamin B12. Hit the magnifying image or the enter key on the keyboard. Here are your results. You'll notice a funny B to the left of the search bar. Microsoft Edge is the browser, and they use a search engine that they own called Bing. A search engine is an online tool that searches through their database based on the keywords you typed in. Be very careful when you review the results that Bing found for you. First, look for the tiny word ad. This lets you know that this is a paid ad. Therefore, their information might obviously be biased. Don't just click on the first thing you see. Scroll down the page and look for a reputable source. If you continue to scroll, you'll see the Mayo Clinic site. This is a very trusted medical source, and you can feel confident that the site will have reliable information. Let's try it. Click on the link. Look at the address bar at the very top. This lets you know where the site is. This is referred to as the URL, or Uniform Resource Locator. The first letters are HTTPS. That stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So for computers to share information between each other and understand it, they need a common way or a set of rules known as protocol. The S stands for secure, meaning the site is safe. This is important that you see the S, especially if you shop online or give out any personal information. The next part of the address is the www, standing for World Wide Web. The next part of the address is where the information is coming from. This confirms that it is the Mayo Clinic, and it's very clear where the information is coming from. If ever you see a spelling mistake in the address, be skeptical. It might be a fake site. Notice the .org. This stands for organization. It's the address ender. Typically ones are .com for companies, .ca for Canadian agencies, and .gov for, you guessed it, the government in the United States. In Canada, the federal government uses .gc.ca. This helps you understand the type of site you're using. After the /, the rest of the address just leads us to the specific information we want from that site. Each website address is unique, just like your phone number is only yours. You'll notice as I scroll and move around the page, some links turn blue and the cursor turns into a hand with a pointer finger. This is called hypertext. So it's text that will take me to another page with more and different information if I click on it. You need to be patient and not continue to click if the page doesn't appear quickly. Notice the turning circle on the tab at the left? Just give it a second or two. As long as it's turning, it's trying to locate the site for you. I realize it's just an ad and I don't want it, so I'm going to go back to the page about B12 by clicking on this. Sometimes you click on one page and then another and you get lost. Notice on the bar at the top there's a picture of a house. This is the home button, and just like that, when you hit it, you are taken back to the Microsoft Edge homepage. I'm going back to my Mayo Clinic page for vitamin B12. I find there are ads and a lot going on, and I'm just interested in the facts. So by the address bar is an image of an open book. When you rest your mouse on it, it says Reading View. If I click it, I'll be taken to a different view for reading this information without all the ads. Check it out. It's less distracting, easier to focus and read. And when I'm done, I just touch it again and I'm back to the web view. So, I think I might want to refer to this page again, or maybe I don't have time to read everything right now. If you were using a regular paper book, you would place a bookmark in the book to mark your place. We can do this virtually also. Some browsers call it a bookmark. Bing calls it favorites. Click on the star and you'll have a few options. Favorites will keep the site address for you to come back to anytime. You can save it in the favorites folder or on the favorites bar. I would choose favorites bar for only things that you use really often. They show up here always in sight. Most people save loads of favorites, so just save them here and they will keep a list form for you. Let's go back to the star button to add a favorite. Did you notice there was another choice on the right called Reading List? This will save the page as a document so I can read it again whenever I want, even if I'm offline and not connected to the internet. Favorites just saves the link. Reading View saves the actual page for me to look at later. So let's save it that way also. Let's do another search. Your child has to do a project about dolphins for school. So you go to the browser and type in dolphin. Look, I got over 27 million results. If I look at the top one, it's about football. Of course, the Miami Dolphins. Remember, the keywords are what it looks for. So it didn't know I was only looking for the mammal. It also found the football team. It found any site with the word dolphin. So to get results without football, I'm going to retype my search. You should always retype a keyword if you don't get the results that you want. It's kind of like being a detective. So I'm going to type dolphin, then a space, then a minus sign, and no space, and the word football. This is letting the search engine know to look for dolphin and not football. Let's see how many results we get now. Notice that Bing is trying to help you. It provides you with images, nicely labeled and sorted. And further down, it shows you videos. On the right, it has links to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an online free encyclopedia with loads of information and references for you. When you scroll to the very bottom of the page, you see more options and some suggested related topics and more pages with results. You can certainly click on these and go on a further search for information. It's sort of like walking into a library. You have to choose several books and then you have to look in them and see if they're right for you. Remember, if you like a page, put it in favorites. If you get lost and can't find your way back, use the home button. You can always just close Microsoft Edge by hitting the X and starting all over again. Let's take a look at Google's search instead of Bing, just so you can see what all the fuss is about. So in the search bar, I'm going to type Google. The first result is the Google search engine. Look at how different it is from Microsoft. It's plain, no news or weather, just simple and clean. Some prefer it, others don't. It's up to you. Let's try the same search, dolphin, and see what happens here. This time, we're going to give it a slightly different keyword. We're going to type marine dolphins. So instead of saying no football, we're going to be more specific right at the start. Notice at the top of the page, there are specific choices. Here I could see just images of dolphins, or videos of dolphins, or even specifically shop for dolphin-related items. You can use whichever browser you prefer. Remember to use good keywords that are specific to what you're searching for, and don't be afraid to be curious and follow links until you find what you want. Just a note about safety. Try to always use reputable sites where you recognize the name of the organization. Use your good common sense. If the page looks sloppy and there are spelling errors or bad language or racist comments, you can probably not trust the information. If you're doing research, try to always find 2 or 3 sites that say the same thing. If you can't find other sites to verify information, chances are it isn't true. Just be alert and have fun. The World Wide Web is massive. It's growing every day. Practice using search engines. It'll help you to find the information and resources that you're looking for faster and more easily. Join us in our next episode where we look at email communication and how to set up and use a free Google email account.